Good morning, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about self-care a little bit more. We're going to talk about some of the mental, the mind components of self-care. My name is Rodney.
I'm Keith, and this is the More in Common Daily Chronicle. This is just where we chronicle our journey to getting to where we want to go, the obstacles that we seek to overcome, the challenges in our way on a daily basis, ultimately creating a chronicle for ourselves and our daughters, and hopefully build some community around it at the same time. So, this self-care, it's funny, it's our most interacted. So here we are, continuing, but it's a deep topic. And I think you made a post that fitness and nutrition don't equal self-care, right? They're a component of that formula. So yeah, let's get into that mind component of it. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah, mentality. So things like self-talk. How you talk to yourself when you win or lose, however you define those things. Like, how are you talking to yourself? How are you treating yourself? Are you constantly putting yourself aside for others at your own, to your own detriment? And there were quite a few other things in that list that I cannot remember right now. But I read the list, and a lot of the things rung bells for me. Rang bells? Rung.
Rang.
Yeah, it's definitely rang. A lot of them rang bells for me. A lot of them rang bells for me because they're all things that I either do or have done to a large degree in my life, especially the negative self-talk. I think that's one that a lot of people can probably relate to, but it's one that it's something that I think I use as a way to motivate myself to a degree through sports and things throughout my life that just does not serve me anymore. And I think we can talk a little bit about like the work to figure that out for me, some therapy and books and just
reflection. What does the mental component of self-care look like for you? Like, how do you construct it? How do you think about it?
So it varies. Like I've been on this journey the last, let's call it 7 months, with going to therapy and trying to learn more about myself so that I can answer that more accurately. What it looks like right now is I need to take time in my day to reflect, like personally, outside of the reflection time for work, because I need that too. But like I need time to connect with myself so that I can tell later in the day if something has overly stimulated. I'm using like the language I use for my daughter, but it's the same. Like if I'm overly stimulated by a meeting or by a person or by an event, and that I need, maybe if I need to pull back away from the rest of my day, I need to be in touch enough with myself to do that. And that's just been, I think that's probably the most important part for my mental self-care right now. So me, it's journaling, talking to a therapist, it is talking to you, talking to my wife. Those are the things for me. What about for you?
I have so many questions if we were only doing a podcast episode, right? Yeah, I mean, the mental component really is, it's that peaceful place of existence that allows me to be in a space where I'm feeling agitated, irritated, frustrated, joy, happy, whatever it is. I can anchor in it and understand it and either correct it or embrace it, right? Like those joyful moments I want to be able to embrace. And then those focused moments I want to tackle and take on, or, the agitated, like this morning, like I've been super agitated all morning, and I've been trying to channel that in a productive way that allows me to think creatively through the reasons I've been agitated this morning. And, not allow myself then to take it out on somebody else, like my wife or my kids or you, right? That mental space, that it's almost, I mean, it's as much mental as it is emotional alignment, right? And from a tactical perspective, I mean, I do some of the similar things. I don't journal, but, I spend time talking to myself a lot. Clearing myself up, because I'm an audio, that's how I collect my thoughts, is by vocalizing them. I do go to therapy as well. And, I certainly talk to you, and I talk to my wife, and I talk to my parents, and really just different avenues to collect that space. So, when we talk about living our best life, tackling our best moments in every single day, like, nutrition is important. Physical activity is important, but we've mentioned it before, right? It's the alignment to make sure the mind works.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I've got to flex that mind muscle as well, right?
Yeah, and I think this is really important. Like, the reason we want to talk about is, I think it's a lot of my life, like, I would have looked like my self-care was high. I was at the gym 5, 6, 7 days a week. My nutrition was good, or there's definitely a focus on it. It's focusing on sleep. So from the outside in, it's like, oh, he's good, he's taking care of himself. And then it was that mental component. Like, the therapy thing for me is rather new.
Yeah, me too.
And really, really getting in and exploring these things that I just mentioned. Like, this is really, really new for me. So, and I think as men specifically, but honestly, I think just people, I think this is a human condition, that taking that time to look in and figure out how you're treating yourself. I think it gets, I almost want to find another way to say, like, take care of yourself first. Because I think that shuts some people down to the conversation. Like, they just can't hear that.
Right.
But like, you really do need to be doing the work for yourself simultaneously. Like, I think for us, that's kind of this whole thing. Like, it's happened. Like, therapy happens in the middle of the day, or sometimes I have to pull out of the day to meditate while I'm watching the children, and I have to ask my wife to take them so I can get 15 minutes because I need to reset because I'm about to lose it.
So it's all about, bringing your best to the world and to the people that you care about and the people that you impact every single day. And as much as, getting that personal time, using it productively for the mind and the spirit is really critical for us. And I know it's probably a highly recommended thing by a lot of people. So we recommend it to be a part of that vulnerability. So what's your practice like to practice it to flex your mind and your emotional connection?
Great question.
Deuces.